Good morning and welcome to Wednesday of the second week of Easter. Yesterday we talked about the gift of this Easter season and how in the Easter season the first reading at Mass is ordinarily going to be from Acts of the Apostles, and we are making the pilgrimage through Acts of the Apostles so that we can remember and not forget the beauty of what the church looked like at her conception and birth, the beauty of the witness of the early apostles, and real clarion call to us to not forget that that's our call, to be as on fire and as inspired by the Holy Spirit as the early church was. Today we find ourselves in Acts chapter 5, and just to kind of give us the context for the setting of Acts chapter 5, let's remember what's happened in the first 4 chapters. Obviously, Jesus has died, he has risen from the grave, and he has ascended to the Father in heaven. Upon his ascension, Pentecost soon happens, and the apostles are inflamed with the Holy Spirit. But the same people who killed Jesus, the Sanhedrin, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, they thought that this whole Jesus thing was just going to go away. That's why they killed Jesus. And they don't know what to do with these apostles. They thought this whole thing would just go away quietly, and they just won't go away. So today we find ourselves in Acts chapter 5, and of course the high priest stands up in front of all the Sadducees and he says, quote unquote, that he is filled with jealousy. It says, quote unquote, that he laid hands upon the apostles and put them in jail. He just wants them to go away. And of course they won't go away. We see this incredible experience of how the apostles are eventually out of jail, and they're back preaching about Jesus. They won't stop. They cannot hold back their passion for Jesus. They won't listen to the Sadducees. They're going to listen to the Holy Spirit that actually tells them through the angel in today's first reading to go and to preach the message of Jesus Christ risen from the dead. So there's this epic battle inside the first reading today about who are the apostles going to listen to. Are they going to listen to those who can imprison them? Or are they going to listen to the Holy Spirit, to the power of God? The authorities, those who have the power to imprison them, those who have the power to kill them, are telling them to be quiet, to stop preaching about this Jesus. And they refuse to listen to those voices. They listen to the Holy Spirit. And of course they proclaim the gospel with conviction in such a way that it says that people were having conversions by the thousands. I think you and I live in a world right now where we're going to hear not only God asking us to do things, but we're going to hear the voices of those in authority who are going to tell us that we can't do that anymore. We're going to hear the voice of discouragement. We live in a culture which is not only anti-Christian, but certainly anti-Catholic. And in a culture which is vehemently anti-Catholic, and in a culture which is increasingly secular, like God is asking us, who are we going to listen to? Are you and I going to listen to the voices of discouragement, or are you and I going to stand up and listen to the Holy Spirit guide us? That's why we read Acts of the Apostles, so that we can remember, let us not forget, that the persecution that we go through now because of the gospel it's not the first time that the Christians have been persecuted. And it comes back to a question for us today, and that is, who are we going to listen to? Are we going to listen to a country which is becoming increasingly secular and increasingly anti-Catholic? Or are we going to listen to the Holy Spirit who speaks to us with the same fidelity and yet conviction that he spoke to the early church? Today, my brothers and sisters, let's have the courage, inspired by the early church, to ask ourselves today, who do we listen to? God bless you.